As a scapegoat, it's really important that you understand what it means when I say you have a part in it. Does not mean that it's your fault. There is 100% something that's happening outside of you. But what it does mean is that you do have power over it. You are not only a victim. And also that by the same token, if you transform your own insides, you will not be scapegoated. There's a really great saying from, I think it's the book, We Earn What We Deserve, not, I think by Jerry Mendez. It's in a totally different context, but that sentence has always stuck with me, which is that economies are personal. It's so powerful. It's really expressing an symptom or manifestation of the law of attraction, in essence, that like we create a reality. But ultimately what that means is that when I change my internal state, my external will change as well, and vice versa. I cannot change my external by changing the external, or rather I definitely cannot change my internal by changing my external, because the external keeps repeating. If my internal is the same thing, it's like you trying to get rid of the dye in the water by pouring water out. The dye is already in the water. You have to stop the dye from getting into the water, and that is the internal state, right? Like in terms of the holographic universe, the holographic plate is the source of the image. You cannot manipulate the image in the hologram. You have to change the holographic plate, and my insides are the holographic plate. I call it the prism of self. The prism that is me is the holographic plate, and when the energy of creation runs through it, it manifests this hologram of my external life. So what does that mean for you? That means really processing and meditating on the state of being enough, whatever that looks like. Or before that, processing and meditating on the state of not being enough, whatever the feelings of scapegoating are that come up that bother you. Instead of trying to change it in your hologram, just sit with them, meditate, let them like sit and process out of you. One thing I have learned for myself, maybe this is not true for you, but it's worth trying, because it's true for a lot of people, is that when I fight those feelings, they persist. But when I let them exist, they will process out. They need to process out, and they will process out quite quickly. So that meditation of just sitting with those feelings, you can even do it for like 3 minutes. Set a timer. Jerry Mendez calls it having tea with your feelings. But that's just one. I don't know why I keep talking about Jerry M tonight. But anyway, meditate, set a timer, sit with those feelings. They will be very uncomfortable, and that is, but not dangerous. They're just uncomfortable because I associate negatively with them. So sit with those feelings and sit with the discomfort and let them exist, let them process, because as they say, emotions are energy in motion. You let that motion complete, just like go through and get out. And then at the end of that, or halfway through it, you will feel different. It's not to say you'll feel different forever, because it will likely come up again, but for that emotion, it will be less intense. So, point being, sit there with the feelings, let them process, and then from there, you can then follow it up with feeling worthy. One thing that I did was, first I sat with the original negative feelings, but later I actually had to meditate on feeling powerful, feeling worthy, so that my body could start to integrate a positive association with the sensation, the visceral sensation of being powerful, being worthy. That's not comfortable for me as a scapegoat. So I had to actually train myself to do that. The more I trained myself to do that, the more I could hold that state, and the more my life got amazing. And actually, the first time this happened, the first time I became aware that I was doing this was something positive had happened, and I went into some negative story of like, this person didn't respond to me, everything's bad. But in reality, I was just going into that negative story because it was so powerful. I couldn't handle what I had just created, what had just happened. And I noticed that that's what I do. I will create a miracle because I will feel like I'll own my power, and a miracle manifests from that place. And then I freak out, it's uncomfortable, and I spend 6 months to 4 years disempowering myself from that place until I feel like, oh, that was an aberration. That's not really what happens. I'm powerless, I'm small, I'm weak, I'm pathetic, I'm abused, all of these things. And then another miracle comes through when I can get comfortable with it again. And then I go through it all over again. And so in that moment, I was like, okay, let me sit with the sensation of success. What are the different elements of success? What do they feel like in my body? And let me sit with them until they feel comfortable. I did that, and sure enough, boom, within months, I had a huge miracle that was made up for lost times, and I was able to hold it and kept building on that. So yeah, let me know how it goes.